This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and today I have a very special guest, Meg Schwartz from the Great Lakes Great Responsibility. Good morning, Meg.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. So, as each week I told you I have the honor of being able to bring on people in the community that are doing some really special things for especially Northeastern Michigan and beyond. And you know, today it is really an honor because of some of the wonderful accolades that you're bringing and the attention that you're bringing to our area here in Northeastern Michigan.
Oh, thanks.
You know, I know the Chevy Award was one award that you have received. Will you talk a little bit about that for the people?
Yeah, so I'm Chevy's what they're calling a lead dream chaser. So I applied for a contest, had to put in a little video application and answer a few questions about what my dream was and what dream I wanted to pursue. And of course I said cleaner, fresher water in the Great Lakes, because that's what we do with Great Lakes Great Responsibility in our litter cleanups. And in April, I think I was contacted that I was in the top 5, and then, you know, things kind of just snowballed from there, and was told that I was the award winner. So I've got a Chevy Trax in my possession through August, and we're planning the ultimate Great Lakes road trip throughout the whole Great Lakes Basin. That's amazing. Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. And I know that all of these initiatives that you're doing are to get you to that 1 million pounds of trash picked up, correct?
Yeah, 1 million pieces of trash.
1 million pieces of trash.
Yeah, I think the next goal might be pounds.
Yeah,
so,
1 million
that'd
pounds
that'd be a lot. Yeah, 22 million pounds go into the Great Lakes every year, though. Isn't that insane?
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah. So,
and then I know there was another award that is really special as well, that honored you as not only for the work that you're doing, but as you know, an inspirational female as well.
Yeah, I was honored to receive the Environmental Leadership Award from MLives. They have a new conference called Women Who Shape the State, and so there were 12 different honorees there, and I felt, you know, humbled in their presence to receive that, but it was basically for starting the Great Lakes Great Responsibility and the initiative there, and then of course my work with the Northeast Michigan Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative too. So
well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know that you don't do all of this work for the accolades, but it is really nice to be recognized for the work that you're doing.
It is, yeah.
And you know, I know there's a lot of people, especially in our area, that are familiar with the work that you're doing, but you know, for some of us, there are some people out there that may not know exactly what Great Lakes Great Responsibility is. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure thing. So we are a litter cleanup nonprofit. We host organized litter cleanups in all 5 Great Lakes, and even non-shoreside cleanups, because we're all part of the larger Great Lakes watershed. So our big goal, like you mentioned, is the Great Lakes 1 Million Challenge, which is an effort to pick up 1 million pieces of trash. So each of our cleanups, we count how many pieces of trash we collect and then add it to that total. But then there's also volunteers that can't make a cleanup, and they're just doing cleanups on their own throughout the basin. And so they'll use our little data form on our website to log how much trash they're cleaning up as well.
Awesome. And it's branched out more than just, say, like Starlight Beach here in Alpena, or just areas specifically around Alpena. You're also out in other communities, correct?
Correct, yeah. So that ultimate Great Lakes cleanup road trip that we're doing is going to hit all 5 Great Lakes. So we're going to start up in Marquette, we're going to Petoskey, Bay City, down over to Toledo, and then we're going to go over to Hamilton, Ontario. So all 5 Great Lakes in 1 week. So it's going to be quite the trip in the tracks. Yeah.
Wow. And is it you and a team going, or?
It'll be probably Rick and I in the car. We have another friend that we might bring along to do some media, but We'll see. I don't know. I think it's just going to be a small group, but then of course we have partnerships in each of the locations. So I've reached out to different watershed groups or local contacts that I have in each of the locations just to be boots on the ground and help me figure out what kinds of permits we need to file and what we're going to do with the trash after we're done with it, those kinds of things.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's a whole nother side of things. It's
logistics.
Not just the, you know, going out and doing something great for the environment, great for the community, but yeah, what do you do with the trash? What do you do with all these resources? And I'm sure people are, you know, welcome you with open arms. I would hope so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, if we want to come to their town and pick up trash, it's usually like nobody's fighting us. It's just a matter of filing all the paperwork and all that good stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, and starting up in Marquette and Superior would be a really cool start to the whole trip.
I think we're going to go to Presque Isle. They call it Presque Isle up there, Presque Isle Park, and host a cleanup there. So working with the local conservation district up there, the DNR, and then over to Petoskey. I've got some contacts in there. We're still laying out everything right now. So that's the plan for right now.
That's awesome too. And it also branches your, you know, like you said, the partnerships and collaborations, but it opens the program up to more than just northeastern Michigan too. I mean, obviously the Great Lakes Great Responsibility is all of the Great Lakes, but to make all this happen, these partnerships are extraordinarily important.
They are, certainly. And, you know, bringing it back to Northeast Michigan, we do our cleanups that are coming up right now in like June and July. We're going to start in Tawas, so Tawas Point State Park on the 24th. I don't want to have to name all the dates and all that, but Tawas Point, we're going to be at Bayview in July, so right here in Alpena. Head down to Osneek, where really this whole thing got started when I found trash out on the Osneek beach out there. So happy to bring it back to the roots, and then over to Manistee. So Manistee River, which is highly trafficked with, you know, boats and tubes and all that stuff. So, you know, lots of stuff gets left behind.
Yeah, and it's so neat to, you know, to hear that you're helping with that as well, like in the Manistee area, just with the immense amount of traffic they have, you know, with people tubing and canoeing and kayaking all summer. You know, I've personally been on, you know, those trips many times, and the amount of cans and trash and cigarette butts and things that people just, you know, throw out the side of their vehicle or their boats and not think twice. You know, it's amazing that you're creating that responsibility and creating it for a younger generation. Because they're going to be the ones picking up the torch and, you know, being the next generation of stewards. So I think it is so important. And you've been able to, you know, very effectively work with, you know, a group that the Boys and Girls Club, the Youth Volunteer Corps, you know, over the years. And, you know, it's changed the perceptions of a lot of the young people, you know, I've noticed, you know, that are more, you know, instead of seeing, you know, their friend or, you know, a couple friends going to the beach and just throwing their McDonald's cup instead of a garbage can 5 feet away and just leaving it sit on a picnic table, and then the birds knock it over, and now it's who picks this up. You know, these kids are noticing and seeing, you know, that responsibility to say, well, I'll be the one to pick that up. And, you know, to pass that torch on to younger people, and it creates that civic duty. I mean, I intentionally named it Great Lakes Great Responsibility because it is our responsibility. We're the stewards of this water. We're the ones that live right here, and really it's a world asset. Like, we got that stats thrown out, over 20% of the world's fresh water is here. So important that us as locals take care of it for generations of the world, you know, not just us that are local. Yeah, and who wants to go down barefoot on the beach and have a straw stuck between their toes? No thanks. No, thank you. You know, so it's absolutely incredible the resources that you're bringing the areas. I'm so happy to see you honored in such amazing ways for the work that you're doing. And as I said before, even just the last time you're on here, we are extraordinarily lucky to have you in Alpena and doing these and creating these civic duties and responsibilities and the, you know, ways for young people to get involved in their community in a great way and great impact.
Yeah, this roots has, or this movement has hometown roots. So, you know, I want to do as many cleanups in Northeast Michigan as I can for sure. And especially like after the Great Lakes Cleanup Road Trip, we've got International Coastal Cleanup Day that's coming in September. So there'll likely be a few more cleanups that folks can participate in.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to having you on at a later date so we can talk more about that as well.
Great.
But thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have you today, and look forward to hearing about all the great things that you're doing in our area.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay tuned for Adam Pohl after the break. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest today is Adam Pohl, Executive Director of the Alpena Area Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Adam.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Hey, well, thank you, of course, for being here.
Absolutely, anytime.
I always enjoy the conversations, and I had to laugh just right before we came back on, saying that it's weird not seeing you every morning, dropping your kids off while I'm dropping my child off at school every day.
Indeed, I've been going through withdrawal, but I'm sure next year we'll be seeing each other once more.
Oh yeah, we like parking around the same area, but
exactly.
It's nice to be able to have a little networking in the morning, talk a little business while we drop our kids off. I can't believe these kids are already in summer. It's crazy.
Flies, man. Time flies.
And speaking of summer, I know one of the big fundraisers that you do every year and help administer is the fireworks fundraiser.
Absolutely. So we changed things up a little bit this year. Instead of, we went to a lot of the businesses that wanted to donate. So there was a challenge laid out by the Alpena Fire Department, and they said, we're going to put in $500. We challenge area businesses to do the same. And we had a lot of positive support from all over the community. So many businesses came through. A lot of them came up and over $500. And then a lot of businesses went out and said, you know what, maybe we can't do $500, but we can do a portion of that and challenge the community via social media or whatever to come through. And like, for instance, Cedar and Threads said, we'll put up 100, and then the community came in with another 650. So they ended up giving us like 750 towards our goal. And again, that was the community that was able to get involved and just bring people together. So it's really been a great community event. It's not just the businesses, but they have been awesome. We have over 60 different businesses that donated. So it was really, really awesome.
Yeah, go figure. Griffin would put something on the table to support a great event in the community.
Go figure.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. He does that kind of thing a lot.
And all the businesses downtown.
No, very much so. Yeah, he was just one that came to mind, but nevertheless. It was a community-wide effort, and Al did a great job.
I just like to call Griffin out. I hope you're watching today. Just a great, he's a great example of a lot of really great things that are happening in our community. The business owners down there have such a vested interest in, obviously, the growth and progression of Alpena, and for everybody to come together to support something that everybody enjoys on July 4th. And for you all as a team at the Chamber to make it happen every year and to get the funds to make this happen is incredible.
Yeah, we're happy that we can help, and it's been something that we've been able to do for, I don't know how many years at this point, but it's been quite a few. So it's something that we're really grateful the community puts a value in, and if we can do anything to help, that's fantastic. We have a lot of different business members and community members step up. So obviously it's important, and you mentioned a lot of the businesses, and it goes beyond just fireworks. There a lot of new events have happened this year and are coming, and everyone's been very supportive. So it's really good to see everybody working together, and that's kind of what our goal is at the Chamber.
Well, and at the Chamber too, I mean, one of, I know your jobs as an executive director is to oversee a lot of different projects that are going on, or to see the progression of, business relations in the community as well. I'm sure, I'm not telling you what your job is, but, I know a lot of what, the economic development in our community. I mean, we all drive through town, and we see all of these really wonderful things that are happening and groundbreakings, and I don't know, can you talk about some of the cool projects that are planned or coming up?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the differences our chamber is compared to some other ones, is that we really do have a focus on economic development with our partner organization, Target Alpena. So we spend a lot of time and a lot of resources from our members towards that end, and it's been really a great, successful thing. You mentioned some of the ones you see Marshalls going up, you see other developments. Them are the ones that you see right now, but there is so much more on the table that's coming. We have we were just, our target was just named our Northeast region lead for housing development from the state. So we have, we're really pushing towards getting additional housing, that kind of thing. We have a number of other projects. For instance, the former Alpena Power site, we have movement on that finally. So we're looking forward to seeing pretty significant residential development there with some commercial on the on the bottom. So we're hoping that can move forward at a pretty awesome, pretty quickly, relatively. And then there's a number of other developments that are still in the early phases, but it's just amazing that there's so much interest that that wasn't necessarily as much before, but it's just it's really blossomed, and we're getting a lot of notice here in Northeast Michigan.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see the community growing and the progression and growth, and I know that isn't just by accident. That's those collaborations with Target Alpena, that's the chamber, that's bringing interested parties into our community and showing what Alpena is all about, and then at the end of the day getting a phone call saying, you know what, we want to put our restaurant here, we want to put our grocery store here, or our new hotel, and it's incredible to hear as well about the growth in housing options for the community. I know that was something that's been talked about probably for the last year, if not a lot longer, of just people that want to move here, but there's not a lot of homes available or housing options. To hear that progression is incredible.
Yeah, so that's obviously been a big focus, just because that is something that we've heard from our business members as well as just other members of the community. So we really want to, that's one heavy emphasis area of focus that we are looking at. But really, like you said, the community partners make it happen. You have so many different organizations and governments that are all really hopefully pulling in the same direction. And that's the really cool part about being the chamber, is just kind of bringing everybody together and trying to get everybody figuring out what we can do to benefit the community as a whole, and trying to just allow people to work together and move in the same direction.
Well, and just in the last minute that we have here, a good lead-in is, as you just said, bringing the whole community together. Your Good Morning Alpena breakfasts are coming up here in July, right?
Yeah, our next one is July 14th at Thunder Bay Transportation. We like to rotate the locations. I think the following one's in August, located at NOAA, the Marine Sanctuary there. So that's coming up July 14th, our next one, and then hold your calendars. September 14th, we have our annual Grub Crawl. That's a really great opportunity for people to explore the different culinary options in town and get to know each other a little bit better on a personal level. So
awesome. Well, thank you for what you and your team are doing to bring people into our community and get more attention and garner more support, and all the great things that you're doing, to make Alpena what it is. So thank you, my friend.
No problem. Anytime. I look forward to continuing it, and we're going to have a great summer.
Absolutely, and I look forward to many more conversations.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned after the break for the ACC segment.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. Pleased to have as our guest this morning Dr. Nick Breggy, director of facilities at ACC.
Good morning, Don.
We both got a little bit drenched coming in. Thank God we got some rain.
That's right.
So we're here today to talk about a project. I mean, you've worked on it probably more than anybody, for sure more than anybody, and that is our what we're calling the Center for Manufacturing Excellence project. Could you give the viewers a little update?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the Center for Manufacturing Excellence is an expansion of both the machine shop work and the welding shop. So both programs are getting their areas renovated. The machine shop was sort of married to the welding shop. It was all under one roof, and now that is going to be solely the welding shop, that existing area. So the welding shop is going to grow to about double its current size. And then the machine shop also picks up some additional square footage because they're moving into a space that was vacated when Auto Body left. So the Auto Body lab was completely renovated, a new HVAC system, opened up the space to make it more conducive to machine shop work, new lighting, new paint, new architectural finishes. So it's a really nice upgrade for the machining area. a little bit more square footage for them as well. And then, as I mentioned, a lot more square footage for the welding area. With the growth in that program, there's been a need for more specialized equipment, so things like robotic welding and specialized TIG welding. So more equipment means more space needs, and so it's a good thing to see, that growth.
I was in, for folks that are familiar with our campus, both of those programs were housed in Besser Tech. They'd been there for decades, and the footprint really hadn't changed in decades. And I was in there yesterday, and kind of the partition wall between the two was down. And it really is eye-opening how much space there is there and how different it looks when it's opened up.
Yeah, it does look a lot larger now that it's one big space, and it's going to continue to change as this project evolves. So where right now the center space is pretty wide open, we're going to construct 16 new welding booths down the middle of that area, sort of back-to-back booths, and then an instructor's booth in the middle, so the instructor can demonstrate, and then the class can kind of break out and occupy all of those welding booths. They're also getting a new fume extraction system, and they're a state-of-the-art fume extraction that sort of ramps up the need for exhaust as more welders come online. So it's energy efficient. It can ramp down when the need is small and ramp up when the need is larger. So we're excited about that. And again, new lighting, new electrical upgrades, and a lot of other cool things happening in the welding area.
Well, both those programs are strong for us. They are also strong at the K-12 level. So the alignment or articulation of students that want to become welders or think that might be a career choice for them, they will step into something new and modern.
Yeah, it'll be good.
The space had always been quite dark and crowded. I think you were referencing the fume extraction. It seemed to me like that wasn't quite functioning at the optimal level for a long period of time. And so that will be a very positive upgrade. Yeah,
the ventilation in the space, you know, that was originally constructed in the early 1980s, and the technology at that time was more or less just a constant running fan that drew air out of the space, kind of like an exhaust fan in your house. You know, it's just constantly exhausting the air and bringing in new fresh air. But this is a more concentrated approach, so that the fumes are extracted immediately away from the workpiece, and so the operator, the student, doesn't experience really virtually no smoke and no fumes from the process.
One of my favorite parts of that whole space was the banner on the wall that showed a former ACC student, Tiffany Younk, and her terrific success as a welder and an iron worker. And I think people who are maybe not really in the manufacturing area don't realize how good the jobs are and how much demand there is in the field for welders and manufacturing people.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a great placement rate for either manufacturing or welding. And yeah, Tiffany did some great work on some historic buildings down in Detroit and got recognition for that. So yeah, it's a cool poster.
Yeah, and men and women both can excel in this field. Mm-hmm. That's also not widely known. You've been busy. We all have, but you in particular over the last 4 or 5 years with the building upgrades and construction projects at the college, and really the past year kind of put the finishing touches on Van Laer Hall.
Yeah, that was a long project, and we wrapped up the Hall of Health Sciences and started running our first cohort of nurses through that space. And then immediately on the heels of that project was the Fitzpatrick Hall addition, which is about a 60-seat lecture hall, sort of a tiered seating structure, and a large display screen in the front for some high technology presentations. And it turned out really beautiful, and that project's behind us, and people are using the space and they love it.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. And then we've got about a minute left. Our One of the things we're working on quite hard and in a focused way is trying to get more housing at ACC. And we have 64 beds, as you know, and we would like to add another 48, figuring that would cost us about $4 million to do. So your plate is going to stay full for a while.
That's the way it looks, right? Between, yeah, and potentially capital outlay project down the road as well. So yeah, looking forward to those two projects. Housing is something we greatly need, and that's going to benefit a lot of students, and then upgrades to some of our older facilities will be nice too.
Yes, that's a really important point, Nick. You know, we've been able to do it up to this point without having to borrow money or bond money or hit the general fund of the college in any way. So we're pleased with that. We would like to carry that through the NRC capital outlay project and through housing. So thank you for everything you do and how effective it is and productive. And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production. All rights reserved.